Hey guys, this is the 5.3a notes. We're focusing on the elimination method. So 5.3a is going to be the elimination method when we're given coefficients that will easily cancel out by either adding or subtracting. Okay? And then the next section, we're going to have to do a little extra to solve for them using the elimination method, which will be 5.3b. But for now, the definition of elimination method is, let me get the pen out. So it's a method, it's really thick. For solving systems of equations. I'm going to abbreviate that. And we do this by adding or subtracting to eliminate a variable. So sort of like substitution, where we're trying to get one variable so we can solve. In elimination, we're also going to try and get one variable, but we're going to add and subtract the two systems to eliminate one of the variables so that we can solve. So step one says make sure the equations are lined up. Okay, so make sure our x's are lined up and our y's are lined up, and what they're equal to is lined up. The second step tells us to either add or subtract the equations to eliminate the variable with common coefficients. So like I said, this section is going to give you common coefficients. You just have to figure out which one has them, and then we're going to eliminate them either by adding or subtracting. Step three is to solve for the remaining variable. So you're only going to have one variable left, therefore you can solve for it. And then number four, we're going to kind of go back to substitution, and we're going to substitute, if I can spell correct, your answer into either of the original equations and solve for the other variable. Okay, so if you solve for x using the elimination method, what you're going to do is substitute that answer in to one of the other original equations and solve for y. Okay, so it's kind of similar to the last method that we went over in 5.2. Now, what we can do is go through a couple examples, and then I'll have you try the rest on your own. So example one tells us that we have y equals 3x plus 4, and we have y equals x minus 2. Okay, so right, we can see the y's here both have coefficients of 1. So that's the thing we're going to eliminate. Now, right, if we do y plus y, we're not going to get an elimination, right? We need to subtract y, right? So we need to do y minus y to eliminate it. Well, that means to subtract this whole second piece, we need to subtract every single piece of it, okay? So we're going to change this second equation to negative y equals negative x plus 2. So this minus sign flipped all the signs of these three terms, okay? Then we're going to keep that first equation. And now we're going to go from the first equation down to the second equation. Okay, so we do 4 plus 2, which is 6. Then we do 3x minus x, which is 2x. So we have 2x plus 6. Then y minus y cancels out, therefore we have 0. Okay, so now we just need to solve for x. So to get x by itself, we minus 6 to both sides. We get negative 6 equals 2x. Divide by 2. And we get x equals negative 3. Okay, now it's going to look similar to our substitution method, where we're going to plug in this negative 3 here into actually either one of these first two equations. I'd use the second one because it looks like the easiest to substitute in, but either one will get you the same solution. So I'm going to write my y equals x minus 2, right? The original equation we had for the second part of the system. Now, right, I'm plugging in this negative 3 in here for x. So we get y equals negative 3 minus 2. So y equals negative 5. And therefore you get negative 3, negative 5. Okay, so this is just a different method of solving systems of equations. The first one we did was substituting. This one is the elimination method. All right, so let's do number 2. Maybe I'll leave number 3. Actually, let's skip. You can do number 2, and I'll do number 3 with you. Okay, now, right, looking at the y's, we have negative 10 and we have negative 9. Well, they are different coefficients, so we know we're going to look at the x's. Okay, now we have 3x and 3x. Sort of like in number 1, we're going to have to change this second equation to minus, so we need to subtract it. So we're going to change all the signs of the second equation. So negative 3x plus 9y equals negative 15. Make sure you switch all of the terms signs. Keep the same first equation. And now we're just going to add them up. All right, we're going to go down. So, right, 14 and negative 15. What does that give us? Negative 1. Right, and then our x's, you notice, will cancel out right there. Right, so you get 0. Okay, and then we have negative 10y and positive 9y. So we have negative 1y or negative y. Okay. I'm actually just going to get rid of this 0, because obviously the 0 won't change anything. And then, right, we just need to divide by negative 1 to solve for y. So y equals 1. Now, we're going to substitute this 1 in for any of these equations y. Okay. Both are pretty similar, so it doesn't really matter which one you substitute in. I'll use the first one. So 3x minus 10y equals 14. All right. I'm substituting in 1 for y. So we get 3x minus 10 times 1 equals 14. All right, so we get 3x minus 10 equals 14. Add 10 to both sides. 3x equals 24. And then divide by 3. So x equals 8. Remember, you solve for y first, so writing the coordinate, make sure you still write x coordinate first. So it's still 8, 1, even though we solve for y first. All right, let's go through number 6. I might just leave 7 for you, so let's look at 6. Okay, so now, if you see, right, this is negative 3 and this is 3. Okay, so that means we're going to look to eliminate our y's. Well, the other ones we actually had to subtract, but if you notice, we have opposites, right? One is -3, one is +3. This will make it easy for us because now we actually just have to add the two equations together because the y's will cancel out and get eliminated. So I'm going to add my x's first. All right, so 10x minus 2x is 8x. Our y's cancel out. I'm just going to not write the 0. I'm just going to leave it as 8x equals, and then 18 plus 6 is 24. And then we just have a nice divide by 8 to solve for our x, which will be 3. Okay. And now we're just going to pick one of these two equations to substitute in. Doesn't really matter which one you pick. I'll pick the bottom one, but you could pick the top one. You're going to get the same answer. So -2x plus 3y equals 6. We solve for x, so we're going to substitute 3 in for x. -2x, or so -2 times 3 plus 3y equals 6. -6 plus 3y equals 6. Add the 6 to both sides. 3y equals 12. And then last step is divide by 3 to get y equal to 4. So our answer would be 3, 4. And that's our solution. So I'll leave the next one for you, and we'll do one more example. All right, so I'm going to go through number 9. Number 8 is similar to this, so make sure you look at this before you try number 8. You'll notice, looking at the equations, the first equation has y on the left side. The second equation has an x and a y on the left side. Okay. What we need to do is line them up. That was one of our steps when solving, is to make sure they're lined up. That was step 1. All the other problems before 8, they were lined up, so we didn't have to do that. This one, we need to get them all lined up. So that means we need to move this 2x to both sides, right? Subtract 2x. So -2x. And then we have plus 4y equals -8. And then I'm going to rewrite the second equation because it already has the x and y on the left side. But once you get to here, it's going to be similar to solving the other ones, right? You should notice that the y's are opposites. So we know they're going to cancel out. So we're just going to add them together. So we get -2x plus 5x is 3y. Oh, sorry, 3x. Our y's cancel out. And then we get 12 from -8 plus 20. Sorry if you hear my dog squeaking her toy in the background. Next step is divide by 3. X equals 4. Okay. And then now we need to pick one of the two original equations, either one. I'll just use the top one. So 4y equals 2x minus 8. Right, take this 4 right here, plug it in for the x. So 4y equals 2 times 4 minus 8. So 4y equals 8 minus 8. Well, right, we know 8 minus 8 equals 0, so 4y equals 0. So y equals 0. Right, so our solution would be 4, 0. Okay. Then we can look at, actually, I'm going to have you skip number 10 and 11. Okay, so we'll skip 10 and 11, and so I'll have you try the rest that we did not do. I think we skipped number 2, so try 2. Try number 4. Try number 5. We did number 6, so try number 7. Try number 8, and we did number 9. So actually just try 2, 4, 5, 7, and 8. And that's it.